Grip socks are great, and now they're even better with Pure Grip Socks Pro. Better fit, moisture wicking, amazing comfort, and all the extra grip you need. Choose from 10 different colors for just $16.99 a pair at puregripsocks.com.
We've talked about wide feet, we've talked about narrow feet, but what about flat feet, where your footprint, instead of looking like this, looks a little more like this? I myself actually have flat feet, or at least a lower arch type, which can lead to complications in regards to comfort with certain football boots, where more often than not, if a football boot isn't going to work well for a flatter foot type, what you're going to find is a pinching or squeezing sensation through the midfoot that might feel okay for the first 10 minutes, but after that it's going to lead to cramping, potentially blisters, and in general, just discomfort that you'd rather not have. And on the topic of arch support, whether you want to put in some aftermarket insoles or some custom ones to give you that little bit of underfoot arch support, there really isn't any football boot in particular that has that already built in. What I know and what I'm talking about and focusing on in this video is that certain football boots, because of the way the upper grabs your foot, mainly in the arch area of your foot, if your feet are on the flatter side, that can lead to certain complications in regards to comfort, regardless of which insoles you're standing on top of. So with that in mind, what I want to do in this video is share with you my top 10 picks for the best football boots for flat feet in 2022. All of which you can purchase for yourself below their normal retail prices by way of some exclusive SR4U coupon codes by checking out the links down in the description. As always, if you find the video helpful, please don't forget to support it with a like, and if you're not subscribed to the channel already, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you don't miss out on new content from me every single day. So in no particular order, because everybody likes something a little bit different, here are what I believe to be the top 10 best football boots for flat feet. The Nike Mercurial Vapor 14 Elite is not an ideal pair of football boots for somebody with flat feet. However, I have them here in what is effectively a wildcard slot on this list, in that this is not a one-size-fits-all type of scenario if you have flatter feet. I have flat feet, and I can get away with wearing these comfortably, even though there is not so much a break-in process, but a getting used to process, where for the first half hour or so, it's not abnormal for me to experience some kind of minor foot cramping in the arch area of the foot because of the tighter fit and structured feel of this upper. However, once I get past that, it doesn't seem to be an issue. So my point in this is, even though I'm recommending 9 other football boots that I think will be the most comfortable for somebody with flat feet, if you want to try something else and you're sure that they're going to feel comfortable for you in the long run, there's absolutely nothing wrong with wearing those. The Puma Future Z 1.3, in my opinion, is one of the most comfortable football boots on the market right now, especially if you want something that does not have a leather upper. I think what's great about this, for flat feet in particular, is the Fusion Fit Plus band being unique in the fact that it does actually grab the arch area of your foot quite tightly. It's got a very tight wrap through the midfoot, which typically is the opposite of what you want for somebody that does have flatter feet. If there's too much pressure applied to the arch of the foot, that can cause discomfort and typically cramping. But because of the unique way that these lace up, where it just stretches at all of the lacing points but still has enough structure along the sides to feel secure and locked in, you end up with a fit and feel that is really tight without having that squeezing sensation, which for somebody with flat feet, I think is ideal from a comfort perspective. The Nike Premier 3 is a phenomenal option for somebody with flatter feet. What you're going to find with this football boot is obviously the entire upper being made out of leather, so even if they're a little bit snug through the midfoot, at first, that leather is going to stretch that little bit. That's going to cause significant relief on the arch of your foot, making for a very comfortable fit once broken in. And because of the deep central lacing system and standalone tongue, there's plenty of freedom for the upper to open up and again, relieve pressure on the arch of your foot, which is typically the main point of discomfort if you do have flatter feet. Not to mention, for $110, it is incredible value for money. The Adidas X Speedflow.1, probably not a pair of football boots you'd expect to find on this list. However, it really is a great option for somebody with flatter feet for a couple different reasons. If we compare it directly to a pair of Mercurials or even the Puma Ultras, these do have more width at the base. You can even see through the midfoot how much more width there is to this sole plate, which isn't necessarily an indication of width, but in this particular instance, it is. And then the upper has this slightly elastic, almost stretchy quality to it, where with the laces tied tight, it's obviously going to wrap your foot very closely, but it has that little bit of give to it that makes for that relief in pressure in the arch area of your foot, which is typically the root cause of discomfort in a pair of football boots if you do have flatter feet. So if you want that speed boot feel, certainly a really thin upper, but also want to be comfortable, this would be an ideal option for a flatter foot type. The made in Japan Mizuno Morelia 2, in my opinion, the most comfortable football boot currently on the market. And for a lot of the same reasons as the much less expensive Nike Premier 3, it's a full leather upper, it's a deep central lacing system, a standalone tongue allowing for plenty of expansion. This takes everything that the Nike Premier does and amps it up 10 times. And that the quality of this kangaroo leather is just the best of the best. So soft, so comfortable against your foot, basically like wearing a pair of leather socks. This also has a little bit extra width to the base shape of the football boot in comparison to the Premiers, causing even further relief on the arch area of your foot. And of course, as you break them in, the leather is going to stretch that a little bit and they're going to get that much more comfortable. They're very expensive boots, but you get what you pay for here. And again, if you really struggle with pressure on the arch of your foot, you're going to find these incredibly comfortable. The New Balance Furon V6 Plus Pro is another great speed boot option for somebody with flatter feet. What I love about these in particular is the slightly wider base shape that it has, particularly through the midfoot, and then the knitted upper that these have offers plenty of give in the arch area of the foot, meaning that it's not going to squeeze that part of your foot too tightly. Nice adjustability with the central lacing system, and unlike anything else on this list, is actually available in a wide fit variation. So if you find that your midfoot in particular, because of your flatter arch type, is really wide, that wide fit variation of this football boot should fit you really comfortably. The Nike Tiempo Legend 9 Elite is another great option for flatter foot types. In general, the Tiempo series I think has always been really solid, maybe other than the Tiempo Legend 8, which did have that unnecessary wrap through the arch of your foot that wasn't necessarily uncomfortable, but I prefer the simplicity of the Legend 9 and just having a straight up leather upper. The central lacing system allows for plenty of adjustability. There's volume through the midfoot, there's width through the midfoot. It's one of those football boots that's going to be comfortable for just about everybody, but if you have wide feet in particular, you should find these very comfortable. The made in Japan Mizuno Morelia Neo 3 Beta, another speed boot option, but one that is particularly unique in that you do get the kangaroo leather through the forefoot. But what's happening through the midfoot, I think, is what's more important in terms of why this is a good option for somebody with flatter feet. What you're going to find with this textile-based synthetic, as well as the stretchy elasticated knit across the top of the foot, is that there's plenty of width and volume through the midfoot, where it might not look like a particularly wide boot, but it has that ability to stretch and expand with your feet inside of the football boots. And based on my experience, it doesn't have too much pressure on the arch area of your foot, which is why you're typically going to experience discomfort if you have flatter feet. It's a really unique product in terms of its combination of features, but also one that's really expensive. But this is one of those football boots that you're either going to want or completely not want anything to do with, simply based on its price tag. However, if you're a Mizuno fan, this is one, if you have flat feet, that should work out for you. The Nike Phantom GT2 Elite, either the DF model that I'm holding here or the low-cut version, take your pick. There's no difference in terms of fit or feel. What makes this a great option for somebody with a flatter foot type is the width that you have through the midfoot, as well as the way the lacing system works, where it's off-centered, being pushed to the lateral side, which means that you have this large area of upper that doesn't grab the arch of your foot too tightly, which is typically the main reason why you experience discomfort in a pair of football boots if you do have flatter feet. It's got a wide enough base to where I think it's going to be comfortable for you through the midfoot, and in general, again, a great option for somebody with flat feet. And then finally, the classic Adidas Copa Mundial, a great option for somebody with flatter feet due to the more old school shaping of the Copa, where there's plenty of width and plenty of volume. The fact that the entire upper is made from kangaroo leather allows for plenty of stretch, not putting too much pressure on the arch of your foot. And despite the sole plate looking quite narrow and slim through the midfoot, you're gonna have that hangover of the upper with pretty much any pair of Copas, regardless of foot type. That's not anything to worry about, because from a comfort perspective, these are pretty well the gold standard in terms of how comfortable a football boot could be. Maybe not the type of fit and feel that everyone's looking for these days, but if you really struggle with width and volume, this is definitely one of those football boots that should work out brilliantly for you.